Hello everyone, welcome back to a stream that has spontaneously appeared on this random Tuesday. I hope you're all doing well. It is good to see a few people in the chat that have been talking so far. So thanks for tuning in for those of you who are here. Yeah, I am today going to be cataloging some minifig parts. So we have these cases that are like this that fill up with each category or each type of minifig parts. We have legs, torsos, heads, and then we have headgear and hair that are separate. And then like we have a little bin of arms and hands and things. So yeah, I have just for the past, well, couple hours, maybe not couple hours, but for a little while. And then I decided I wanted to stream around maybe like 10:30 this morning. So I've been doing that for the past few hours, and then I set all this up. I'm just gonna keep going through it. Initially, I was pretty bored and alone in the garage for the day. And then, I don't know, half an hour ago, Paul came in and started picking orders. So I'm no longer lonely. He's around the wall on the other side. You can't see him right now. Yeah, so I wanted to stream just so I had someone to talk to or do something with to an extent. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. Yeah, if there's anything wrong with the music or anything, let me know. As always, I can make those adjustments as necessary. So I've been working on torsos yesterday during the last half of the day, or last maybe hour of the day or so. I went through about maybe half of the torsos we have. The way I do it personally is I first split them up by color of the torso, not the arms. And then after that, I'll dump out one color and kind of sort by the actual printing on the torso. After that, once it's all sorted by printing, I then see if the arms are cracked or if the torso is cracked. Whatever pieces are cracked, I'll toss, and then I try to replace what arms and hands and stuff I can if we have it. If we don't have it, we'll list the torso alone without the arms. They don't sell as much, however, I feel like it's not worth waiting for the arm to come in. Yeah, anyway, welcome everyone. I need to say hi to some people who are here. So Matthew, welcome. Ethan, David, Chris, JB's Brick Kiln, BrickStore, Guillermo, Bradshaw Studio, Patrick, Peter. Welcome everyone. Thank you for tuning in. I know this is just a random little thing that kind of came up. I just wanted to do it. Anyway, yeah. We have had, I did notice, I mentioned this to Paul yesterday, I think, or a couple days ago. We've had a few people who, like new people who have been finding the channel recently, and a lot of people who are asking like, oh, when are you gonna post vlogs and stuff? And, you know, a lot of people have asked when that's all coming back, and the truth is it's so tedious, and it just doesn't align with the business, like the focus of the business, unfortunately. We have, you know, talked, like, and I just started today, I shot a new vlog opening segment. We're not gonna do weekly or anything, but we might be releasing just sporadic things here and there as they kind of come up. So you can look forward to that, I suppose, in the future. So Ethan says, do you try to complete figs as you go? Yeah, so I did that yesterday. We had a bin of, I think we call it built figs or so, I don't remember what it's called, but it's one of these containers as well. I went through that, all of those were added yesterday. And then yeah, if we're just missing a hair piece or something, we'll put that on. If we're missing an arm, we'll replace that. If just legs, whatever. I actually have a few still here. And some of these people, or some of these figs are pretty expensive. So like this, and I don't remember the name, it's also not gonna focus. I can do this though, hold on one second. So this is one of the figs that, okay. He doesn't have a head at the moment, but this fig sells, I think it was like $120 or $140 or something. So we're just gonna buy the head, which happens to look for like an average of like $3 or something. So in this case, we will go with that in the sense of like, buying a head to complete it. So this guy's set aside because we have all the other parts, and it's a very valuable fig. I guess I can do this again, or I can just leave it up. So this is another one that was another expensive fig. I think it was like $60. We just need the hair or the hat piece thing that goes on. yeah, so got to do that. So I have a small like bucket here, or small cup of figs that are almost complete. They're just missing a tiny thing. However, I'm very confident we don't have it here. So I think that'll be a purchase, or it could be in the minifig parts thing. It didn't get pulled out initially, something like that. So yeah, okay. I see some more chat. So Ethan, Patrick, you keep retracting your messages and then I don't know what you said. So I can't reply to anything. Chris says, I agree, YouTube takes time away from the parts of the BrickLink business that bring in customers and steady revenue streams. Yeah, it's hard. Willie says, it is so much work to make vlogs. I feel you, and yours is so professional. So you put way more work in than I do, and yeah, it's a lot of work, but I feel it's worth it. As many of my vlogs are attracting customers and retaining customers too. Yeah, that's always been kind of the thing for us. It's like, well, how can we justify the cost of this by saying there's a return in the marketing or something? I don't know. Oh, Chris just says leave it up, it's not too distracting. Yeah, my plan was once I was using it, I was gonna leave it up. But I guess there's nothing in that corner anyway. I'll just put it up for now. It does start to flash sometimes if the frequency of the light changes from what it's seeing, so that could become distracting, but yeah, I'll just leave it there. Okay, Patrick said make a random dude with like minifigs, but then I gotta pull it apart. David says building incomplete figs sucks. Yeah, it's actually, I kind of enjoy it because the value that comes out of it feels like it was worth it. You know, it's not like cataloging a torso that's like 35 cents. It's like you put all the pieces together and then it's like $40. Now, I won't take this torso, put it in here, use bricking knives, and then get out the return of what fig it could be and then find all the pieces. I'll only build figs if I see that the pieces are like already together. There's already a leg and a torso that go together, then I'll build that fig maybe. Or there's a head on a torso and we just need the leg, something like that. But I won't do it if it's just, you know, like a single torso. Unless it's maybe a Star Wars torso and or something along the lines of knowing that there's like an expensive thing that could come out of it. Yeah, and then in terms of drawers, we just put dividers in the halves. And then I don't mix colors of torsos. So all these little firemen in here, those are the firemen torsos that are all the same. So that's not going to get confusing or anything. So I actually have a ton more black torsos over there, but I have like 13 drawers laid out in front of me. I'll fill these drawers with other colors and then I'll come back and do the other black ones. But when I pour out all the color of one torso, I'll separate them so that we're not gonna put, you know, like have multiple things everywhere. Okay, David says researching the complete figs is tedious. It is, it definitely is. Alrighty. Okay, so I'm gonna do these red figs. You guys can keep chatting. I gotta focus to an extent here so that I don't, you know, like double my work here and make it harder than it needs to be. But I will try to keep up with chat as I'm kind of sorting through these. I've also noticed we're getting a lot of non-Lego figs. Not a lot, a few non-Lego figs that look pretty close, and then they just don't have the Lego logo on the stud or the top of the neck piece, so that's been unfortunate for sure. These are also mostly all the single red ones because I did kind of the bulk of the red yesterday in terms of torsos, but we got some plain monochrome, which is sort of nice. Oh, and then another thing, and I'll go through this when I get there, I'm sure, but the arms crack so often, and half the time you can't see the crack until you put a hand in or bend the hand a tiny bit, so it's like even more tedious. I'm sure most of the people here know though already. Chris says, I agree. Got to keep moving forward. I think that's in reference to building the figs. He created a Python package to find all the possible figs in my store that can be built based on the current inventory. That's very cool. That is very useful. We've talked about that, but I don't know if it's, I don't know. It's like the lot count and stuff is nice, and it's like, a fig would probably sell more than a piece though. So I'm not entirely sure. Yeah. And then it says, I will add those with the 20% add-on to the last 6 months max. To the last 6 month max plus 20%? That's pretty high. Maybe. I guess it depends what fig. Some of them maybe it's high. Some of them it might just be like not that bad actually. JB's Brick Hill says, when you see a torso that costs $15, you might see what it goes to, right? That is true. When I do notice that a torso is like, you know, over $1 or something, I kind of look a little bit closer into it. But I haven't, at least in this current batch, found anything. However, I've only done like red and some black, and all the black I did was like the generic city. Like these are all police officers or firefighters or like the rescue guys. So I haven't actually done anything that could be something else. Philip says, I stepped away from a nice Star Wars minifig deal and now I feel kind of sad. That is a bummer. We've done a few of that where we talk and we have an offer and we see them and stuff and it's nice, but we just can't come to an agreement, or we decide, you know, it's for us, it doesn't make sense, and then it is a bummer for sure. Sorry to hear that. Pup Kiwi, welcome to the stream. How's it going? Pup Kiwi, speaking of Ethan's question, Ethan says, are you planning to move to a warehouse anytime soon? Pup Kiwi just moved to a new place, which is very cool. Pup Kiwi, how many, I've seen a few of the pictures in our Discord that you've shown and stuff, but I haven't really inquired too much. I like, the picture you just sent, which is, or the couple that are like, it's all organized and stuff, looks really, really good. How big is that place? Just curious. And then Ethan, to kind of follow up with your question, planning, yes. Officially made any moves or like official things? Not quite. We are talking with someone who's gonna help us find a space that fits our needs. The goal right now is about 1,000, definitely no smaller than 1,000 square feet. But the idea is in the realm of 1,000 to 1,500. And then that would include, in our mind, 1,000 square feet of warehouse space in terms of like storing pieces and processing and stuff like that. And then a little bit of place, or a little bit of office type space as well. So I'm not sure how it would all break out and stuff, but yes, just in the past few weeks, actually, I have made some effort into really exploring that for sure. Yeah, we definitely have a few things happening right now. So yeah, PubQ says 1,300 square feet, very nice. Has a back room with a warehouse and a roll up. So expensive, Chris says. Yeah, that's been our thing. It's just like, we just can't justify the cost quite yet. The thing is, we can't have people come here to work, you know, unless we have an idea, like know them to a degree and stuff. But the hard thing now is hiring people past our friends or family or someone who we kind of connect with in some way. We don't need to be like direct friends with them, but we don't have people come in that aren't somehow we know them, if that makes sense. That's been hard because we just want to hire more people, because the truth is almost every employee that you could hire, as long as you have the source and everything, the more manpower, the more output your store can do, and we've kind of hit that point of the manpower is lacking. Obviously we're out of space as well, but that's been a consistent issue. So once we have the space and the ability to hire that manpower, I'm happy, or I'll be much happier. Chris already says, I'm planning my next move in 3 to 5 years. Nice, very, very cool. PubCube says, expensive depends where you live. That is very true. Willabrick says, would a brick and mortar store not be an option in your area? It would be an option, and that was a route I was going down maybe a year ago. I was looking at a few places. I don't think that's the direction we'll go, especially not for the first move. Is it possible in the future? Maybe. But I think for the initial one, we're just gonna focus on the warehouse and the online sales. But yeah, Paul and I have for sure talked about like a brick and mortar retail type thing, but there's a lot that would go into that. A lot that would go into that. So I just don't know that it makes sense right now. I do think we are in a place for it though. I think the biggest thing for me with a brick and mortar type store would be foot traffic. So we would find a place that, which wouldn't be hard here, that has a high amount of foot traffic. Maybe about a year ago, I did actually reach out to a few people and got some prices and stuff in some like outdoor shopping complex mall type areas in our area. So I don't know. It's for sure, I would love to do it. I just don't think it's gonna happen now. Sorry, I'm getting so distracted on like thinking and fantasizing about what it could be. Okay, I gotta actually do some cataloging here. So it does look like you've been talking a little bit about chat here. Okay, let me actually get BrickStore re-situated. I changed my screen size and now everything's all screwed up. And I was going to show like the actual screen of the cataloging part, but you guys already know what that looks like. So I figured just the camera would do the trick, and then you would at least see what I'm showing. Okay, so is this actually Yoda? It is actually Yoda. That's cool. Okay. See, there goes the camera. It's all dark now. It's all confused. Alrighty, so red. And then I have like 3 screens going on right now. I don't know. Well, I have my main screen, obviously, that I'm doing the cataloging on, which also has chat on it. But then this is my multi-view, so I can see myself. I don't know why I put that there because I don't need to see that. And then over here, I have the stream statistics and then also chat. So I'm all over the place. Looks like PupKiwi says mine is $1 per square foot plus electricity. That's great. That's what I'm hoping to get around here. I don't think it's possible. Oh, that's so nice. Place is well insulated and heat controlled, so I haven't had to turn the AC on yet. And you have AC, that's awesome. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think we're gonna be able to get $1 per square foot. That's just too inexpensive for this area, I believe. But that would obviously be the direction I would want to go. Yeah, that is a good deal. That is pretty nice. Wanting more per month? Nice, nice, very cool. If you don't mind sharing, you don't have to if you don't want to. Did you sign an extended lease or you just went with like a single year or something? Paul's gonna make an appearance. Not quite, no. He also didn't want a mic, so you probably can't hear him. I offered though. Here he comes, there he is. People said hi to you earlier, sorry. I didn't relay the message. Ethan says, I saw your lot count has dropped. Has that helped with the space problem any? Yes, but it wasn't an intentional lot count drop. If you actually look around, there's quite a few drawers available, which is a lot of the reason our lot count has gone down. Stuff has been harder to add. So we, for the most part, and I know I've shared this before, for the most part we have one main ace sorter. We have additionals who do some other stuff, but for the most part, most of our ace sort is done by one singular person. She, for the past 2 years, has taken off November and December. Now, last year that didn't screw us up at all. We were pretty fine with that, in a way. Let me see what this is. It didn't actually, this camera's also not like staying on. I'm so confused. Okay, so that's more important than Yoda. Bummer. I was just saying something. Oh, yes. Our lot count has dropped because we have an ace sorter who has taken November and December off the past couple of years, or the second half of November, all of December. So like 6 weeks off, which last year we were better at budgeting, last year being 2022, we're in 4 now, but 2022 we were good at having enough backlog halfway through November that it lasted us through December. What happened this past year in 23 was she took November and December off and we didn't have enough that really lasted us the full amount. So unfortunately we hit the end where we couldn't give anything to a cataloger, so we had to slow her down for a few weeks while our ace sorter was taking time off. And then once your ace sorter comes back, you know, beginning of January, it's not like an immediate one day and you're ready to give stuff to a cataloger or a B sorter again. It took a little bit of time. So we didn't properly plan and budget and I don't know, like hold on to categories and stuff like we should have. So we were doing really, really well through October, and then November we were probably still fine. December we were okay at the beginning, and then our lot count started to decrease almost all the way through January because we didn't really get a ton of stuff back. So now in February, and now we're working on getting that lot count back up. But in addition to that, we were trying to get the basic pieces back in, like large plates, large bricks, etc., where a lot of what we already had maybe had some of it, so we weren't adding new lots, we were just adding more quantity to the existing lots we already had. I don't know if that kind of made any sense or anything. But yeah, that answers your question, Ethan, as to why our lot count has gone down. This will obviously add a good amount of lots because we don't have anything in our inventory like this right now. So yeah, our lot count will be increasing over the next month or two, but we just had to get the basic pieces back in, and a lot of that just meant quantity was going back up. Okay. Not a fan of the background music. Sounds like, is it too loud or you just didn't like the specific song? I can pull it down a little if it's still too loud. PubKiwi says, my landlord accepted a month-to-month. Building is rent controlled. That's amazing. That's great, good for you. That's pretty cool. Yeah, I think here, if we wanted to get anything, competitive, we would very likely have to sign probably, I mean, I would say at minimum a 1-year lease, obviously, but probably in more of an extended lease, which I don't really want to do. Not looking to commit to 3 years or anything, probably. But we'll see what we end up having to do when we do it. Okay, so here we've hit that point, and I don't know why. But has anyone found that it seems like most of the time the left arms are the arms that break more often than the right arms? That has been my experience over the past 2 days. I feel like I'm replacing left arms all the time, and the right arms are okay. And I cannot explain it. Also, I've done, this is the first one I'm putting in. This is so sad. It was a productive day at the beginning. I was doing well, and now I've gotten so distracted. Brother Brick says music is fine. PubKiwi says some cheaper places wanted 2+ years. Yeah, exactly. That's what I expect here. If we want a cheaper place, my concern was signing, let's just say 3-year lease. One is probably, I mean, there's always the chance that we decide in a year, okay, this isn't working out anymore, we're done. Once we move, I don't really foresee that being the case, but that is a possibility. So there's a slight scare of being committed to, you know, let's say a 3-year lease or whatever. My other concern is if we don't get a big enough space, and then, you know, like we just get 1,000 square feet or whatever, and, you know, maybe that's on the end of being a little smaller than we were wanting. My concern would be that we run out of space within 1.5 years, and now we still have 1.5 years to continue that lease. You can obviously break your lease and like pay the difference and stuff like that, but that wouldn't be ideal. But yeah, that's kind of what that's part of why I don't want to commit to too long. I think 2 years we could do. 3 I think is too long. Okay, now we got 2 lots in. Chris just said, don't, just talk a lot, it's okay. And then Willie said, oh, we see the white arms are more prone to cracks than other colors. Yeah, I did some white ones yesterday, and one, just some of them were in such bad condition, it wasn't worth it anyway, but they also do seem to crack. You can see the age on white pieces a lot more than some others, I think. David says, ads keep booting me from the stream. Is that a setting I can control? I know it was at some point. Monetization. Okay, choose your ad frequency. Conservative, lower earning potential, less interrupted viewer experience. Okay. Hopefully you get less ads now. I didn't know ads rolled in the middle of a live stream when it was turned off. There's a button now I can click. I can take a break and I can run an ad, but I thought that was the only way you could do an ad midstream. I have two buttons. I have insert ad and I have delay. Oh, delay ads. Okay, there we go. I paused the ads. Shouldn't see them now. Cool. JB said, yeah, I didn't know ads came up when live. Chris says, when you're ready to move out and run my company for me, I'm sure we can work something out. David says, reddish brown crack all the time. Ads come up and I have to close the stream and restart. You can't skip the ad. Okay, well, they're paused anyway, so it should be fine. You sure you don't want to be part of this?
No, I'm good. Thank you, though.
Paul doesn't like you guys anymore.
I don't like him. You guys are cool. Was that picked up?
Yeah, that was close enough. It would have heard. Yeah. Willie BrickStore says, I think as a business owner, you'll always be a little scared to fail, as in, will I make enough money this month or not? Yeah, of course. And that's why ideally in a good situation, you have some buffer there in terms of like rent money and stuff. You don't want to be like month to month, like, oh, or do we have enough? Are we short $5 for rent or whatever? That would be pretty tough. Okay. David says, I skip it, it freezes up. Yeah, I don't unfortunately have control over that besides I pause the ad, so they shouldn't play. If they do play, then YouTube's lying to us, which wouldn't surprise me, so, you know. Yeah, this camera keeps like turning off when I click out of the window, and then it doesn't turn back on until I click on it, which is a little weird. Chris says, going to look at a farm. I'll try to stay connected. Very cool. Are you looking, like, just to go visit a farm, or what do you, or you don't have to share if you don't want. I was just curious if you have, like, what are you doing at the farm? Yeah, why do I have to click this every time? I thought it would just stay on. Ethan says, love the music. I'm a little confused. I've been getting mixed signals from the music. Some people don't like the music, some people like the music, so I'm not sure.
Do what you want.
I don't know what to talk about now. But you see how many more figs I got cataloged when I wasn't talking to you guys? This guy's supposed to have white arms. That's another thing, is like changing out the arms is such a pain. We got more chat. David says, when you guys sort white parts, do you whiten everything or do you feel some yellowing is acceptable? Our opinion used to be that some yellowing is okay, and that was just expected. I think now we're kind of in the realm of whitening is a necessary step for any white part, which is hard because we don't separate colors until we're cataloging. So we wash the pieces, and then in an ideal situation, our plan would be we whiten the entire batch And it doesn't matter if it's white or blue or green or whatever piece is in there, it's just gonna go through the whitening process. It costs more because we have to get more hydrogen peroxide. And it takes longer because you're essentially washing everything twice in a way. However, we have seen a lot of especially when you have a lot of quantity of something, like 1x2 bricks or whatever. We have a full thing of, let me grab them actually, full thing of 1x2 bricks over here. And these are only white because we whitened them. You know, and even in here, there's still some sides that are like this one somehow didn't get whitened or whatever. Now I gotta adjust the quantity. Certain things, to a degree, they're just not white. Over, you can't see me right now, but way back here on the washing machine, we have 2x2 bricks, we have 1x1 bricks, 2x3 bricks, and they're all white, and they just need to be whitened kind of separately. So that's what we've been doing at the moment, is whitening bulk things individually. I want to just whiten everything, whether it's white or not, because we've just I don't know, it depends where you get the pieces from and stuff too. Sorry if that was a very convoluted answer to your question. I don't think that. But yeah, we no longer think yellowing is acceptable. And the reason we don't think that is because we've had customers reach out and say, hey, this is too yellow, where we haven't thought it was too yellow. So obviously, if our customer vision of what is too yellow doesn't align with our vision, then we need to adjust ours to meet the expectations of our customer. Okay, there's more chat here. Micah, welcome to the stream. It says, hi, how many lots/parts is manageable by one person in your opinion? How many added parts and lots per day can one person add? I don't know that I have a good answer to this, to be totally honest with you. I think Pup Kiwi is a good example of a one-person shop. You know, he really goes after it and gets stuff done. And I think he was here a little bit ago. I don't know if he's still here. I don't have a good opinion because I've only ever done it by myself once, and I started it in 2015, I think, 2015 or something like that, through 2019-ish. I was doing it alone, but I only ever had maybe 15, somewhere between 15,000 and 12 to 15,000 pieces. Not a lot, you know, a couple thousand lots max. So in that sense, it's so easy to do it alone, not a problem whatsoever. On a larger scale, I don't know, because I've only ever had Paul or Kyle or a network of contractors who help do it, so I don't exactly know. I would personally say a store our size, at our current rate of adding, maybe one person could do it, but our store was decreasing in size for a while there. Oh no, actually that's not true either, because we have contractors who are doing stuff, so not entirely sure. Sorry, I wish I could help and answer that, but it also probably depends all your process and what it is. I would probably say max piece count, maybe 400,000 to 500,000 a single person could sustain. It also depends on your pricing. If you're pricing at 6 months sales average, you're gonna have too many orders coming in that you can't add pieces. If you're pricing higher, then you might have slower orders, you can add more parts. So there's so many factors that go into it, I can't just give you a straight up answer. Sorry about that. But if you're not part of our Discord, you can join it. There's a link in the description, and Pup Kiwi is one of the members, relatively active. You can reach out to him, and I'm sure he will be willing to share with you. Okay, Ken says the downside of a short lease is that the rent could increase at renewal. Better to go a little longer. Moving is a terrible experience anyway. That's true too. Yeah, hadn't really considered that. Yeah, another thing, at least from the person I've been talking with, he's been saying that landlords are more likely to give you some kind of tenant improvement budget or something to help do the build out of a space if you sign a multi-year lease versus just like a single year. So they might give you $1 per square foot, and that's your budget for what you're allowed to spend on their dime to build out a place. Or you can do, I don't know, there were a few different options that I talked to this guy about. But yeah, so that is true though. Moving, we have not moved. We moved once and we had maybe 12 acros. There's a fly in here. I swear, when we're not, I haven't seen a fly in this garage in months. and now I'm streaming and there's a freaking fly. Yeah, we've only moved once and it was like 12 acros. I am worried about the move, like the physical move. A lot of what we have is easy to move, not a problem, you know, like, but all these drawers with inventory in them, I'm scared. One thought for the move, and I don't think it'll play through this way, but a long time ago, I had this concept when we were much smaller. I was like, okay, let's, instead of physically moving all the inventory, we will go to our new location, do the build out, put up drawers and stuff, and then add into a secondary inventory, just like one BSX file that was in that location. And at the point where we feel like that has a big enough inventory, we will actually swap the inventory over and delete this and do that there, because I wanted to reorganize how we were sorting the store. So then the plan was like, take a drawer here. I don't know if we were gonna bag it or bring it there, and then reassign all the locations of where all the stuff was here into how it fit in our methodology at the new location. We are so much larger now, like more than double the size when I was really thinking of that. So I think at this point, just got another add still. It says it is paused. Like there's a pause button here and it says paused. Can I just turn monetization off completely? I don't know if I can do that while we're streaming. I don't have many options here. David says no AdSense. Yeah, it says it's paused. I'm sorry. I don't know. Fidel, welcome to the stream. Sorry, I'm a little behind in chat. But yeah, moving I'm worried about for sure, just in the sense of like, you know, the actual moving process is gonna be interesting. I don't know, I'm thinking, I mean, it won't be less than a year, obviously, like we're not gonna get that here. In addition, I don't really want to get that. I don't want to move for like 3 months and then be like, oh, let's move again or whatever. And we're not going to outgrow a space in 3 months. In 2 to 3 years, could outgrow a space. But I also don't want to move into a space that's, say, 2,000 square feet that we know we can last for the next 5 years or whatever, and then have so much dead space for the first 2 years. It's a hard pick. What would be the most ideal situation is a multi-tenant building where we have one thing, and in 2 years when we need to expand, the person next to us moves out and we can just knock down a wall or put a door or something. That'd be great, but I'm sure that's not gonna work out. Billy Brick says, I once heard that a brick that was white and returned yellowish a while after. I have no idea. I'm sure they re-yellow, and they may re-yellow at a different rate, but I'm not sure how long. David says, I've been doing the same. I've added items to my store regarding some yellowing. Oh, I added terms to my store. Gotcha. Willibrick says, once sorted, I put away 1 lot per minute on average. Once sorted, I put away 1 lot per minute on average. Oh, when picking, it is also approximately 1 lot per minute. Oh, really? Interesting. Paul and I can usually average between 150 and 200 lots an hour if we're like really going through it. Which would be like 3-ish lots per minute. I'm a single person and I have 7,100 lots and 75,000 pieces. It's hard, but I add a lot weekly. David, nice. And JV says, sorry, I didn't mean to distract you. It's okay, I get distracted by anything. This fly is killing me right now. I don't know if you can see the fly, but it's here. David says, take your acros, shrink wrap them. You can get in large, huge rolls. Yeah, so the fridge that we had, well, we have shrink wrap. Never mind. There's no store that goes with that. We have shrink wrap, and that's the plan. And when we bought a store, maybe like a half an hour to 45 minutes away, he had, I don't know, 12 to 16 acros maybe. And yeah, we shrink wrapped those put them in the car, and those worked fine. It's just a little frightening, especially when it's like your entire inventory. Like, that's scary, but that's the only way to do it though. Yeah. PubQ says, I moved all my acros in a van, didn't use shrink wrap, and had nothing fall over, thankfully. Just took my time driving. That's another thing. You just got to take your time for sure. Oh, Fidel says, I moved my store back in November. Nice, nice. Fidel says, how's it been for the past couple months? It's been good. We had a good end of last year, and it slowed down the beginning of this year for sure. Like, slowed down. So the past couple months, I guess, from this year, not fantastic, but we had a good end to the last year, and I'm looking forward to what this year brings. We've been doing some things. There will be news, I think, in the next few months from us. So that'll be exciting. We've been working really, really hard. I'll put it that way. I'm not going to speak past that, but I'm very, very excited for the future. I'll say that. Martiana, welcome to the stream. Says, in long term, whitening is a bad idea. Parts get much worse than they were before after some time. My friends and I have really bad experience with whitening parts after months and years. Oh, with whitened parts after months or years since whitening. Interesting. I did not know that. Paul was going to go make a video at some point. It never really happened. But it was going to be a video on the science of why whitening a piece works and what it does. And we were going to do like long-term trials of like, here's a white piece, here's not a white piece, here's in just hydrogen peroxide, here's in hydrogen peroxide with the UV, here's what the UV does, et cetera, et cetera. It never really came to fruition since it had so much research that had to go into it. But it'd be cool to kind of see, like, you know, do they actually get worse after whitening? Almost like a little Mythbusters-esque, like, testing all those little theories and stuff. Ruru says, is there only you two working in the store? For the most part, yes. So physically in the store, it is Paul and I, and Paul's mom will come in occasionally and help out. But we don't have any employees that come into the store to help. We have contractors who work outside of the store. They work at home. They'll come to our house. We will swap pieces with them. We'll give them a bin of parts or whatever. And then they'll take it home and they'll sort it into different categories, or they'll catalog it into these like cases and give us a BSX file. So we have other people that do work with us, but we don't have anyone physically in the store, just for the fact that it's our house and I don't want people coming in and out of the house freely as they need to work. So no, not currently. So I don't know, there's two people that work in the store, Paul and I, and his mom will come in a little bit occasionally, like maybe once a week to just pick some orders or something if needed. Millibrick says, that's fast, but your store and picking process is way more organized than my garage. Interesting. Yeah, Martiana says, finally I decided to replace all whitened parts, since after whitening them 2 to 3 times, they became tan. I'm very curious now. I never really thought about the long-term effects of whitening. My assumption, since Paul and I never really did any research into it, my assumption was that whitening them essentially took off the outer layer of the plastic. And it didn't really whiten the pieces per se, but it actually removed a layer with the hydrogen peroxide and the UV hitting that, and it had a reaction with the outside. Not like it was taking just the color off, but that it was actually removing a little bit of something. I'm not sure if that's the case. If that is the case though, Lego has kind of a clear protective outer, not exactly, but like a new piece has a shine to it that you can look at and be like, oh, that's a new piece, versus a piece that's 2 years old that's been tossed around a little bit, has all those tiny micro scratches and it's kind of eaten through that shiny layer. I wonder if that has something to do with it. I'm just talking right now. I have no idea if that's true or not, but yeah, that is interesting that you've had to replace all your whitened parts. JB's Brick Kiln says, when I closed my store down, I packed every drawer into a bag and labeled it with the drawer number and put them in a large container. It works, but of course it's very time consuming. That is what Paul and I did. with a separate store that we had acquired, I don't know, a while ago now. We purchased it, we drove out, we picked up the Acros. This is the one I just talked about a few minutes ago, like maybe, I don't know, 12 to 16 Acro units or something like that. We picked them up, we drove them back, and then they sat for a while. And this store was all new condition pieces. And so what we had done was, our plan was we were going to add the new pieces in some separate way. Now, we never officially added those parts because we had focused so much on used. And I felt that adding some new with a majority used store didn't really make much sense. So we decided we were gonna hold off. And what we did is we wanted the Acro units to use, of course, to put them on the wall. They're like expensive. So we took, I don't remember how many lots. I wanna say like 6,000 lots or something like that. And each drawer got its own Ziploc bag. We wrote the drawer number on it because we have a BSX file of the entire thing. And it went in a bin, or a few bins. And that took Paul a long time. I didn't do it, I don't think, but Paul spent some time doing that. So it's definitely tedious, and that is not a way to move a store to a new location. That's like a long-term storage method that we would go with for sure. That's not a long-term thing. I mean, a short-term move. Unless it was like maybe across the country or something wild, but we're not going that far. Okay. Have either of you had any holidays this year or vacations? Yeah, actually. So I took a trip back in November, and we haven't seen you guys. I think it's been 148 days, I think, since we posted a video or something like that, 140, something like that. And we haven't streamed in just over 5 months. October 7th, I think, was the last day we streamed. So I haven't seen you guys or talked to you guys in a while. I went to Japan in November. I went to Hawaii in January. And then I've been other places for other work and stuff, but not like vacation-wise. But yeah, Japan was very cool. Went with a few friends. Very, very fun, exciting. I'm sure I'll elaborate more in the future on that, or things will get brought up. He has returned, everyone.
I have returned. Would you prefer I do large bricks or extra large plates?
I don't care. What do you want to do?
How am I supposed to be a good
Okay,
worker?
hold on.
Chat.
We have people.
Yeah, chat.
Should Paul sort extra large brick? Not extra large brick, that's not a thing. Extra large plate or large brick? We will wait 1 minute for everyone's replies.
1 whole minute?
Yeah, but
Do you have a timer?
We gotta be silent.
Oh. Nobody's saying anything. Nobody has any opinions.
Oh, tied. Plates, bricks.
Come on, Fidel, you gotta break the tie. Okay. Hope that.
You got 2 for
did
plates,
help.
1 for bricks. 2 to 2. 3-2.
Hello,
Plate.
Matthew.
Fidel broke the tie. Plates.
Okay.
Plates it is. Thank you, Fidel, and everyone who voted. Paul's gonna go sort extra large plates. Are you doing it in here, or?
No.
Oh, okay. He's gonna go inside and sort. Goodbye.
Oh,
What was I speaking on before? Do you remember?
something not as cool as me.
Japan. I went to Japan, and then I went to Hawaii in January. So yeah, I've taken a couple vacations recently. Paul has. Where have you gone recently?
I went to San Diego for 2 days.
Paul went to San Diego. Didn't you go to Hawaii like October?
It was like a year ago.
Oh, okay.
No.
No.
That was.
No, wasn't that long ago.
Yeah, that was a year ago. Maybe 2 years ago. It was
No.
when we talked about it on a podcast episode.
Okay, then it wasn't 2 years ago. We didn't have that podcast 2 years ago.
Yeah.
No.
I don't know. It all kinds of just blend. Everything after COVID is just kind of one
Big year. Yeah. Yeah, whoever asked that question, I hope I answered it. Matthew. Thank you for asking, Matthew. Has anyone else done anything fun in the past 5 months? Vacations or anything? Anything cool? Fidel said I have a couple white lots of yellowed pieces during the I had a couple white lots yellowed during the last 6 months. didn't have access to my store, and they were all bought at Pick-a-Brick walls. Interesting. Across several stores in Mexico and the US, only the Pick-a-Brick lot's yellow. That doesn't make any sense. That's bizarre. Oh, Matt, the question. Oh, thank you. This has been wild for us here. All over the place on this question. Matt Apple, first of all, I don't think I've seen you here before, so welcome if you're new. But thoughts on the recent part merge that eliminated some mold variations? I think I'm going to be severely disagreed with here. However, I think what BrickLink did made it easier on their end, and theoretically for the majority of buyers will simplify the process. However, saying that, and saying that I agree with their concept of what they want to do, which is merge a lot of the lots, I think they severely did it in an incorrect way. They didn't, they did what makes sense, I suppose, on their back end, but doing, having it as disruptive as it is was not the right way to do it, in my opinion. I'm a fan of the merge in the sense of this piece and this piece physically have no variation in terms of, oh my God, what is the word? Oh, shoot. I don't even know what I'm trying to say. There's no physical difference in terms of the capability of the piece locking with another piece. Whatever that word is. Functionality. There's no functional difference between these two pieces. They could probably be the same ID. Now, pieces that look drastically different, so I'm talking like the heads. I don't think heads needed to be totally separate. I think like the blocked open stud or whatever all the things are, I think that's okay, and that can all be the same. Tiles with a groove and tiles without a groove, I think those were merged. Those to me are different because functionally they're a little different. Thank you, Matt. Yes, functionality was the word I was really trying to get out. So overall, the merge was fine. I think it needed to be a slow thing they did over time. They shouldn't have all said, hey, it's going to happen on this date, and your pre-existing lots are all going to change. I think that was the wrong way to do it. What they need to do is, or what they should have done, in my opinion, is create the new lot that is, this is the tile. You can add this tile now. However, if something's in your store, it doesn't get changed. It's there until it sells out. Yeah, that's kind of my opinion on it. But we've had such drastic discussions over the past few weeks, couple months actually, just because of BrickLink's changing stuff. Yeah, like it's been brought up quite a bit here for sure. Thank you for the question. Silvana, welcome to the stream. Matthew says, yes, I went to Norway a couple weeks ago with Fanta Tracks for the Empire Strikes Back filming. That's cool. We did panels there, plus I played with Lego in the snow. Very cool. That's awesome. Very, very fun. Cool. Yeah, anyone else donate? Oh, Willie BrickStores. Fun thing I did last 5 months, I bought a new house, so I'm gonna have to move my store. Exciting. Is it close by or is it far away? Nice, that's awesome. Congratulations. Matthew says, yeah, post-COVID, it's a blur. That is. The past 5 years, I feel like I've just kind of merged into like pre-COVID, post-COVID, and that's it. Like, so weird. Nikolai says, it is so annoying. Now I have upwards of 3 of the same lot, and sometimes the prices are 5 because they're not important anymore. Right, so in my opinion, that's where BrickLink should have said, hey, these 3 are going to be one lot. This is the new lot, but until they sell out of your store, they'll all be individual with the pre-existing IDs and stuff. So yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Fidel says, I moved to a different city, and now I live near a Lego store. Very cool, 15-minute walk, that's awesome. I source a lot of the pieces regularly from there. Very, very nice. So Vaughn says, how's the store going? Store's going fine. We had a good end of 2023, and then a slow start to 2024, but we have some things coming in the future, which I am super stoked about. Okay, I'm gonna get back to doing a little bit of torso cataloging and uploading here, because I haven't. All right, did I add that piece? I think I did. Oh, it's not even the right color arms. Checking for cracks and stuff is so tedious. The nice thing about like doing torsos first is I think you get the hard thing out of the way. There's just, you know, there's no, once you get to legs, I mean, you can screw up legs, I suppose, but not like you can with torsos with a tiny crack or something. Someone's not gonna, I guess you don't check legs though. They do crack in the back where the stud fits around in the foot. I feel like I missed some stuff. Maybe not. Maybe I didn't miss anything. Oh no, Willabrick said, are you now full-time in the store too? No, not exactly. Again, yes, in terms of time, but not in terms of, no, I never scanned that piece. Not in terms of pay or anything. I am still reliant on some other sources of income. However, I do foresee that realistically I will, whether I could be completely reliant on just Brick in the Bucket or if I needed like some other stuff, sorry, I'm trying to say realistically I think, not the right piece. I will probably always work outside as well. Yeah. Okay, Willabrick, thank you very much. Said happy to see you guys are doing great. I'm signing off now, but I hope to see you again on the YouTube channel. All the best and good luck. Thank you as well. Good luck with the move when you move your store, and congrats on getting the new house. Solano says, do you guys just do used or new? We pretty much, at the moment, we are only adding used. We do, like we have done new. That's what we started with initially. However, we are only adding used parts at the moment. I think it's difficult to focus on both unless you have enough space, enough people, etc. I could be very wrong in that. I'm sure there's small stores who do both and they are very successful in it. But I just think overall, it's better to do one or the other. I would like to have a store twice our size and then say half of it's new, half of it's used, if that makes sense. Hello, Speedy Brick. Welcome to the stream. How are you? Fidel says also, I got a job. Oh, that's great. Got my first since graduating. Awesome. Finally, I have a stable source of income to invest in the store. And soon after, found a couple Walmart clearance sets. Almost 80% off some sets. That's great. Great to hear. Congratulations on the new job. Very cool. All right, that's the wrong color arms. Just need a hand for that. What is the difference? Fidel says I bought a 1979 classic space collection for around $260 US and a 1980 diesel train for $26 US. Very cool. It's pretty fun. And Speedy Brick says, you've inspired me to start my own BrickLink store. Very cool. Congratulations and good luck with your store. Fidel says extremely rare here in Mexico. LEGO came to Mexico in 1995. Oh, I see. Yeah, that is very cool then, finding that there. Correct. All right, so if you've been here the whole time and you've been listening and paying attention to what I'm doing versus just me talking and yapping about nothing, I have 13 drawers out in front of me. I'm putting one type of color torso in each drawer. Now I have this many left, so I'm gonna put this back into a cup. And when I have a new set of drawers in front of me, I will do it again. Yeah. But I don't know who's actually paying attention to what I'm doing versus just listening to me talk and having a conversation with you. Sorry, this chair is so uncomfortable, and this is not like a table to sit at. There's the edge, and this goes over about an inch, but like my knees hit the boxes and everything underneath. It's very uncomfortable to sit in here and do it. Oh, I guess here's a change. So I think I did mention a little while ago, I'm going to try to do vlogs to a degree. We're not going to come back and do it like weekly or anything like we were, but we will shoot stuff when we have stuff to film, and we will release them when they make sense to release. We're not going to agree to a schedule or anything, but hopefully once or twice a month we'll have something for you guys to see and kind of stay up to date with what we're doing. You can see in here we finished out that. I don't remember if we against the chair and I muted my mic. Okay, so I think I had pointed out we finished that, and we started the move inside, so there's some pieces inside, and we have pulled the shelves that we have bins on about 6 feet away from the wall, and now we have an aisleway between those shelves and the wall. So we don't have acros in there yet, but we have some acros, a few, but not enough, and we haven't put any pieces in there yet. But we have an aisleway. Theoretically, that aisleway we can fit another, I don't know, 30% of our store size, 30 to 35% of our store can actually fit in that front room. So that is, at the moment, the plan, I think. However, again, if we do decide to make the move out of here prior to utilizing that space, then that's totally fine. We just wanted it to be in there for that. Yeah, sorry, the mic didn't die, guys. I leaned against the back of the chair and clicked the mute button on the transmitter, so I apologize for that. Sad. Okay, so now I'm gonna get to another color. What time is it? It's been about an hour. I'll keep streaming, we can keep talking. But yeah, we'll chat and stuff, but I'm probably gonna try to focus a little bit more here because I only have 26 lots in this sheet. Let's see what the value of this is. Probably nothing. Yeah, so at 6 month sales, we're looking at like $22, which is nothing. So, okay. There's this little heart that is on my chat thing, and it like is in the way. I can't see like part of the message that Speedy Bricks just sent. All right, we will do some blue. I don't think I've done blue yet. Okay, Speedy Brick says, it's been a while since I watched your videos. Is it still the three of you? No, so it is not. It is Paul and I. So Kyle, this was back in 2021. We had a discussion end of spring, early summer, really looking forward and saying who wants to do what, what roles are everyone going to play, etc. And Kyle decided that he no longer had an interest in any ownership stake of the business, or the commitment of the ownership stake of the business, really. So Paul and I have ownership now. So no, it is not the three of us. Kyle's still here, we're still friends and everything. Absolutely nothing negative came out of it. We still do a lot of work with Kyle, however, he is not an owner of the business anymore. So it is just Paul and I. Yeah, hopefully that answered your question. Should be Martin, I think, is, I don't know, it's hard to say all those letters. I've kept my acro boxes broken down for when I sell my store for retirement. Oh, nice, nice. I see what you're saying. Yeah, no, we cut our boxes open, I flatten them, and they go straight in the recycle bin. For the most part. I think we have one like hanging around because occasionally we'll use it for like a big base plate or something if we need to have some cardboard, but no, we just... So in this garage, I think we have 206 acro units. And then inside we can fit 80, I believe. So that would be a lot of boxes. Silvano says, do you build Lego in your free time, and what is your favorite set? I have not built Lego in my free time in quite a long time. What is my favorite set? You know, it fluctuates, but I think for the most part, I have to go back to the Maersk train. I think usually that's where I fall back to. That is definitely one of my favorite sets, if not my favorite. So for today, that's my answer. Usually that is my answer though. I really like the Maersk, just the colors, and it's a train, which is cool, stuff like that. So that's usually the direction I head for that answer. But no, I haven't built Lego in my free time in quite a while. Part of it just, you know, it got expensive to actually have my own stuff. Paul and I would stream building a while, or for a while there, but we didn't see a ton of interest in that. A lot of the people who I think follow the channel are very much interested in the store operations, not us doing whatever, which is totally understandable. So it just didn't make sense to purchase stuff when I didn't really want it. But the last set I partially built, I think, New Year's Day, or maybe New Year's Eve, we'll say that, 2023. I think. No, New Year's Eve 2022. So a little over, about a year and 3 months ago. I think I did a stream where I was building the Stranger Things set, the Upside Down. That is probably the last one that I have built. And it's not done. It's sitting in my office closet. Like, I know exactly where it is right now. It's not built though. Yeah. Speedbreak says, do you still record picking orders? No, have not recorded picking orders in a long time. It's a hard one to do. Well, it's not hard. It is difficult to continue talking for that long while being productive, especially when you don't have like a true agenda of stuff. You know, you need to, going into that video, as little prep as there is in terms of what the video really is, there is the mental prep of like, okay, I need a few things I can talk about and ramble and go on. With a live stream or something, it's very easy because people say something and then you can just, you know, blow, like, I have no idea where I was going with that phrase, so this is a bad example, but I'm continuing on a discussion that does not need to go on this long. You know what I mean? I can keep going with it, if that makes sense. But when you're alone picking orders, you're a little more stuck to what you come up with in terms of topics. And so that's what I found to be difficult. Because it's not like, oh, hey, look, you got this piece. Show the camera, put it in a cup. Okay, next drawer we're going to, 1422. Okay, looks like you got this piece and we got 7 of them. Okay, oh, and these are new, so we're gonna put them on, like, I just don't know if I really wanna, it got difficult to have interesting content. But I think people were interested in the video concept of like seeing you pick. I don't know, but it's not something we've done in a long time now. I do want to like revive the YouTube. I can't right now. Like I would love to kind of bring back the stuff we would do, the part out party videos, like things like that, but it just, I can't justify it right now with the time commitment we have to commit to the standard operation of the store, in addition to other things we're working on. There's just too much, which is sad, because I loved the, what do I want to call it? Like the good old days of our channel and stuff, where we were posting like 3 days a week. It was like way back at the beginning, but like 3 days a week we were posting Monday, Wednesday, Friday. There was like a tutorial video, there was a part out party, we were picking orders on the camera, we'd stream with you every Saturday. Like, I loved that time. really enjoyed it. And if we can somehow return to some form of that, I would really love to figure that out. I just don't think it can happen without other people, like employees, focusing a little bit on the store versus just Paul and I, for that big of a commitment. But those, I really enjoyed those days though. Like just great community and everything. Not that there's no community now, it's a lot harder to have all that than it was, for sure. So Vaughn says you can live stream picking orders so you have something to talk about. I think I did that once, and it was difficult. Primarily because, especially now, I did this back when we only had one aisleway, like our first aisleway. And it was easier in one aisleway, but now that we have so many areas, the camera has to stay fixated with me, which means I need power, and I need a signal to get it to somewhere. It's like, yeah, I could just use my phone and stuff, but it's a lot more of a process to live stream, I will say remotely, in the form of being able to move wherever you want. But I think I did it once. Maybe I did it twice. I might have done it a few times. One of the times was on the cart. The other time it might have been back when we had a table over there and I'd go to the table, read the computer screen, see where I was going, walk to the aisleway, pick the piece, go back to the computer screen. Probably did it that way once or twice, but only ever did it once on the cart. And I had an extension cord running to the cart. Camera was mounted all funky. It was really hard to have chat. There's just so many little pieces that come together to make it happen. And I just, yeah. Nathan says, I'm thinking of starting a BrickLink store. Is it worth it? Any tips? I'll answer your first question first, or I'll answer your second question first. Any tips? I think this channel has a lot of tips that will help. However, off the top of my head, I don't have a bullet point list of tips to give you. But if you want to just, go look at things through the channel, there's so many little things you'll find. However, answering your is it worth the question, I think it depends what you consider to be worth it. Is it financially worth it to operate as a large-scale business? I don't know. I think it's hard to get to the size of a large-scale business. Now, if you're gonna enjoy it and really love what you're doing, then sure, I would say it's worth it all the time. Like, just focusing on it as a hobby type thing with making a little bit of income on the side, yeah, totally worth it. But trying to scale a business, significantly more difficult, significantly more stressful, a lot more logistics that need to come into it. So I guess I would need a little bit more info from you in terms of what you want out of it before I could say, yeah, it's worth it or not. Speedy Brick says, how big has your store grown? Can you do a store tour sometime soon? Yes, I think we will. The store tour is something I've been thinking for the past few weeks, like, okay, I need to just film it because we've started to move stuff inside. So I definitely wanted to show everyone that. Yeah, so that is my plan, is to do a store tour in the coming weeks. I don't have a date for you yet on that, but yes, that for sure was part of my plan. So yes. How big has it grown though? I think right now we're at 640,000 pieces or 650, something like that. We were at 700,000 at one point. That dropped down. And then lot count, right now we are on, sorry. Sorry, I need to pull it up. I believe right now we're looking at like 14.5 maybe. Sorry, it's loading. But I will get you exact numbers. Okay, so, we're at 625,000 pieces roughly, and 14,400 pieces-ish. So, not ideal actually. We've shrunk a little bit. We were at over 700,000. Late summer of last year, maybe early fall. And I think we were at like 18,000 lots. That's insane. We've lost so many lots. That is wild. Dang. Yeah. I think in the next few months this will all be put into perspective. I'll just say that'll make sense in a few months. Okay, lots of questions coming in now. I see. Sylvana says, "Have you made any mocks?" No, I don't think so. I suck at mock building. I used Studio at some point, and I was building a train. That's about it. I think it was the Alaska Railroad train, the blue and the yellow. And I got the engine, I think, complete, but I couldn't get the cars to complete. And then when I went to go buy all the pieces for it, it was like so expensive. Like, okay, maybe I'm not gonna do this. But no, I'm not great at mock building, actually. And in addition to that, I just haven't really spent the time to go do it. Brick and Mortar says, no questions, but I just wanted to send some positive vibes. Keep up the great work. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Yeah, we've been just trucking along. Just continue going, and we'll get to where we want to be at some point. Keep trying. Savannah says, what year did you start your BrickLink store? Officially or unofficially, just Brick in the Bucket was started in 2015. In terms of the official business of it, where we're like, okay, this can be a business, we started in 2020, or like the last day of 2019 is when we opened the store. But technically, 2020 is where we really focused on growing, the first couple months of 2020. Which is winning currently, BrickLink or BrickOwl, says Matthew. I don't know what you mean by winning. I assume you mean in sales. BrickLink. For us, BrickLink has always consistently been the stronger platform that we sell on, for sure. Fidel says, also, I found the upside down used for $16 US. It was only missing the minifigs, but it had the Demogorgon and head and 4 closed bags with 11, so she was in new condition. Nice, that's cool. David says, I think you're around 19,000 lots. We might have been at almost 19, or maybe, I don't know if we hit 19. I'm not sure. But yeah, we were really kicking butt last year. There were a couple things. We had an employee last summer who worked with us for like 4 months, I think. So that helped for sure. Yeah, we were at like 19, weren't we? Speedy Brick says, am I the only one who's getting ads? You are not. On my end, it shows ads are paused, so it shouldn't be playing ads for you, but people are saying they've been seeing some ads. So I unfortunately don't know how to fix that. I don't know if I can fix that while I'm streaming, because on my end, it shows it is paused. But no, you're not the only one who's been getting ads. Some other people have also seen a few of them. So I apologize for that. When we do this again, I'll try to configure monetization so it's not doing ads during the stream. But also, on my end, it says it's paused. Huh. Sheep says, I find BrickOwl more sales. Interesting, very, very interesting. What is your inventory composition? Like, are you focusing on anything specific, or you just see that in general, that's what you find is more sales come from BrickOwl? I do see a different demographic on BrickOwl. Like, rarely do we have the LEGO Friends minifigs, or whatever they're called, sell on BrickLink. Maybe occasionally a little bit, but on BrickOwl, we for sure see those go. Everyone's saying they see ads. Sorry. I don't know. I don't think I'm gonna go too much longer anyway, so sorry about that. David says, Evan needs LEGO money, gotta monetize those bricks. No, that wasn't the intention. Speedrick says, do you ever go to a LEGO convention? I have not. Paul and I have talked about it. Like we've always said like, oh, we should go, and we never have. I don't know which one we would go to or whatever, but yeah, no, have not been. So yeah, have you? Sheep says, just general. I mainly focus on basic items like plates and bricks, Harry Potter figs as well. Huh. Interesting. Yeah, I don't know. Where are you located? Are you in the US? Because I don't think we've ever had a month where Brick Owl has been better than BrickLink for us, ever. Like in the history of the store, I don't think that's happened. Maybe no, I don't even, I'm pretty confident I'm not wrong in that sense. We've never, ever looked at Brick Owl as being a primary marketplace for us. We've always kind of seen it as a bonus in addition to the BrickLink sales we get. It's never been like, oh, Brick Owl is competitive with BrickLink. We've always seen drastic differences. And I don't know if that's what we're doing or what, but yeah, never has it been like a close tie or anything. The UK. I wonder if that's why, or part of it, maybe not why, but could contribute to it. I know Brick Owl is a European company. I think is it France that it's located in? I don't remember where they're based, but it's in the EU. It's not, it's either France or Germany. I don't remember. Is it France? I think it's France. Anyway, it's not US based, and that could be part of why. So Silvano is asking a question, and I can actually bring it up here. So give me a second real quick. So it's gonna look ugly just because it does at the moment, but this is my screen at the moment. So I have a small camera on the desk in which we can use, let me get another, oh, did I do this already? No. So in this sense, I can put a fig underneath the camera. You can take a look at it. Now, this is BrickStore. If you haven't seen BrickStore before, it actually quite surprised me if you hadn't. But BrickStore, you can catalog stuff. You can type in torso information at the top here, whatever you'd like to do to try and find it. In this case, I click this little camera button, and then this item scanner will pop up, and this uses, at the moment, Brickignize, which is an online service. You can also go to brickignize.com, this URL that you see right here, and upload an image, and this will spit back possible options of what that piece might be. So in this case, we see this piece here. So I can click it, I can confirm this is the right piece, or maybe it isn't, whatever. And then what I can do here is I'll select a color, and then in this case, I only have quantity 1 of this, and I'm gonna put it in this location, whatever I scan in next, which will be 6477. And then it'll actually add it to my sheet here. So you can see these are all the parts I've cataloged today, which is almost nothing. Got a remark over here so that we have that drawer. But yeah, for the most part, this is just giving me a seriously strong suggested hint as to what that part, or in this case, this minifig torso might be. So yeah, hopefully that kind of answered your question. Actually, that definitely answered your question. So this is Brickignize, or BrickStore utilizing the Brickignize feature of image identification for certain parts. And it's very with torsos or printed pieces to recommend what they are, for sure. Okay, I lost my chat. Let me get that back up. Okay. Pup Kiwi says Brick Owl is a quarter of my monthly sales. Yeah, no, we're looking at Brick Owl at like, not that we've never had a quarter of our sales be it, but we've never had like, you know, 40% or anything crazy like that I can remember at least. I think I would remember that. Most of the time we're looking at like 10%. Yeah. Fidel says, I opened up on BrickOwl a couple Mexican exclusive sets, but absolutely zero movement back when BrickLink was down. We did see an increase in BrickOwl when BrickLink was down, which makes sense, I suppose. Not as much as I would have thought, though. I would have thought like everyone transitioned over, but I think people were just waiting and like, oh, BrickLink will be up eventually. And it was like 5 days or whatever, but. Matt says, do you monetize non-Lego, like Mega Bloks, Connect, etc., that you get in used lots? No, we don't. We don't sell any non-Lego product. So if it's not Lego branded, we don't go through the effort of selling it. What we do with that is we separate out the broken, like if it's completely broken, not usable, got sticky stuff on it or whatever, it is unfortunately trash. If it could be used by someone, it goes and we donate it to actually a nonprofit that we have independently worked with, not related to just Brick of the Bucket, but we donate it to them and then they go through it and they actually have been sorting them into like bags and stuff and they're donating it to preschools or daycare types, whatever, I don't know exactly where it goes, but things like that, that can be used by kids or someone who actually gets use out of it, because they generally, for the most part, don't care if it's Lego branded. And if it's a brick that connects with other bricks and it's in good condition, that's fine, they can use it. So we don't want to throw them away. We stored them for about 2 years, and we recently, in the past few months, at the end of last year, donated about 500 pounds of pieces that we deem to be non-sellable for a variety of reasons. Could be non-Lego, could have a light scratch on it, could just be faded, whatever it was. And that was donated out for, yeah, I think it was January or something, but it goes out to kids who could use it or something. We don't go to Goodwill or anything because we purchase from Goodwill. We want it to go to a place where it's gonna stay for a long time. It's not gonna go to a place where they're gonna resell it or redonate it or move it around and stuff. But I just feel bad sitting on it and I don't wanna throw it away. It feels very bad to throw it away, especially when someone else could really enjoy it and be happy with it. Yeah. David says, that's amazing. I use Brickinize too, and I never knew it interfaced into BrickStore. Yeah, you just have to update. I don't know, this came out a while ago, so you probably already have it. You just have to look for that little camera icon when you open up the add item screen. Speedy Brick says, where your inventory, is it mostly used? Or if it's mostly used? Sorry, my throat is so dry from talking. We buy it from such a variety of places. Shop Goodwill has been a thing for us. Private online sales, could be Facebook Marketplace, whatever. Yeah, it's literally almost anywhere you can. I could mention it to someone I work with. Oh, I do this Lego store thing, whatever. And they're like, oh, I have like hundreds of pounds sitting in my garage, my attic that my kids haven't touched in years, yada, yada, yada. Things like that. It could be so much of anywhere. So we do not have one singular source. We did for a long time, up until like December or November of last year, have a single source where I don't know where she got it all from, but she would somehow source it. She would go through it, clean it up, throw the stuff away that wasn't Lego, which was amazing, and then she would toss it. Sell it back to us. She would toss the stuff that wasn't Lego. She would pull out figs, which was a bummer, but we would get it for like $2 a pound from her, which was phenomenal. And it was a consistent, like every week we could go get it. She unfortunately, I think, has stopped doing that or couldn't find supply or something, so that fell through. So now we're just all over the place, which is a little unfortunate because we do have some like unknowns. Like right now we have like 300 pounds, I think, or so, roughly in that area of totally untouched. That's just sitting in bins and stuff that we're waiting to get sorted. But at the same time, I need to keep looking to purchase, because if we have a month where we don't make any purchases, that 300 will be gone, and now we need more. So it's like, it's all over the place in terms of where we're getting it right now, unfortunately. David says, what camera do you use for BrickStore? I can't show you because I have it in like a 1-foot cable, but it is back a long time ago, Instabrick, if you've ever heard of that. That came out a long time ago, and we somehow received an email that said, hey, do you want to test out the Instabrick? And do a review or something like that. And that's when we kind of found out about it. So it's this physical, I guess I can pull it. it just might, it'll break BrickStore for a minute. So it's this actually like a little camera in a box, Instabrick. This is what they essentially sell to you along with their software. And it was the same concept as like Brickignize and stuff. It was identification for pieces. And then this is actually built just on, I think it's a 16 by 16 plate with like 1 by 16s that are along the walls that are like 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13, or some, I don't know, 12 to 14 bricks high. And this just sits on top of it, connects to the studs, and then it has a little piece of paper at the bottom, and it just plugs in with a USB-C cable. So this is our camera. Oh, and you can see me there too. Amazing. Yeah, so this is just our camera for Instabrick, or from Instabrick, which has been pretty good actually for us. Shoot, let me, dang, it was, yeah, whatever. I don't know why it's like a widescreen format now, but whatever. Okay. Willibrick says, I'm back. You're catching up for lost time, it seems. Yeah, I'm booking it. Silvana says, what are you drinking? I'm drinking black tea. I used to hate tea. Like, and I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 weeks ago, I did a job where they had, like, they had food and snacks and everything for everyone working it. And on the crafty table, there was coffee, which was like hot coffee. And I just didn't want to drink hot coffee throughout the entire day. And then there was black tea in a big thing, iced black tea. And I started drinking it, and all of a sudden I'm hooked on it. Like, unsweetened black iced tea. I don't know, I used to hate tea. I'm still not a fan of any other type of tea. I have been trying because I thought, oh, maybe I like tea now. But yeah, just black tea, just iced black tea with no sweetener. It's weird, so weird, but yeah. David L says Instabrick, I remember that. Yeah, it's an old thing that came out a few years ago for sure. I don't know where it went. We actually got an email from them not that long ago. Can't remember what it does now. There's some sort of like interface with BrickLink or something a little cool that we were like, oh, that's actually nice. We haven't used their software, but the camera comes in great use. Yeah, I like it. The tea is not orange. It does look orange, doesn't it, on camera? It's like brown in person. Yeah, it's a little orange on camera. Yeah, but it's just black tea and a little bit of water. Okay. Fidel says, will you resume regular live streams? They motivated me to sort and part out sets even when burnt out. I don't know that we will, at the moment, commit to any regular schedule of anything. We have too many things going on in the business and stuff that is constantly happening that I just can't say say Saturday or whatever, we're gonna commit to doing a live stream. I would like to bring back monthly streams. The hard thing there is gonna be picking a day and a time to commit to doing it. But the goal would be to do at least like something monthly where we can connect. We'll see. Yeah, we'll see. Speederbrick says, last question before I go, will all this be posted on your store today? I assume you're talking about the pieces. Yes, these will be uploaded at some point after the live stream. I will realistically finish up the live stream, and then I will fill up these drawers with the parts. So I would say within an hour or maybe a little less of the stream ending, yes, there will be these torsos that I'm currently cataloging up. All of this, absolutely not. This stream has slowed me down significantly today. I was trying to get through all the torsos, which I can still do today, and I was also going to try to get through all the legs. I don't think that's going to happen today, unfortunately, because it's already like 1:35. But the torsos, yeah, they'll be up today, and what you see in front of you will be up in the next hour or so after the live stream for sure. Silvana says, how old are you? I'm in my mid-20s. Yeah, okay. I will probably gonna close this off. We still have 25 people watching, which actually isn't bad, considering I've been doing pretty much nothing. I'm gonna spend a couple more minutes streaming, catalog a few more of these, answer some more questions as they come up, and then I'm gonna head off. Is it 1:35 a.m. or p.m.? It is p.m. It is afternoon right now. We are in Southern California. Bye, Speedy Bricks. David says, yeah, but we missed you guys. What was that in relation to? I don't even remember. Maybe that was in relation to doing monthly or committing to doing something. I don't know. There's also such a delay. There's like a 15-second delay between what I say and then when you guys see it. So if I've gone on a rant about something completely unrelated, I don't know what I talked about 2 minutes ago. It's so nice to pick up a torso, and the torso's not cracked, the arms aren't cracked. Just great. Me not streaming is what you were talking about? Oh, they're different. White horizontal with red. Yeah, so I'm not saying we're not going to stream. I'm just saying we cannot commit to constant or consistency of streams. But seriously, in the future, like keep up with us if we do anything, because there's gonna be some fun stuff in the coming months for sure. Okay. Chad Vicky says, what camera are you using for BrickLink? Go back about 5 minutes in the stream and you can see it. It is an Instabrick camera though. So back in like 2020 or 2021, Instabrick, a company, released a thing that an error occurred. Oh no. There we go. They released a little camera box thing that goes on top of like a 16 by 16 plate with like 14 brick high walls or something like that. 12, I don't know. And we bought that, or we got that. Oh geez. That's way too many. And that is what we are currently still using because it works great. BrickLink returned an invalid status code. That's not cool. It's a bummer. Huh. Dang. Okay. No. BrickLink is not working. What am I supposed to do? I have to actually type this in? Gotta use color lock and all that stuff. Good thing I know what this is. Okay. Willibrick says I'm gonna try and sell used sets too, both on my own website and Facebook and eBay and stuff. Curious to see how that'll go. Nice. Yeah, we have some new sets. So in addition to purchasing like used bulk, I've been purchasing new sets that are still new. I wanna try to sell those as well. I just don't know. Okay, wait, part? I don't know. I just haven't gone through and like started to categorize or like list anything, but for sure I want to go that direction as well. Okay, why is torso not? Oh, wait a second. What? Okay, wait. I got a question. What am I doing wrong here? Torsos are in part, yeah? Yeah. Anyone know what it's the pizza, it's the alien from, what is happening? My search terms aren't working. I'm confused. Torso. Minifig, comma, torso, assembly, decorated. Alien. Alien doesn't come up. How do you spell alien? Use BrickLink. That's true. There are many other options to use BrickLink. I thought I knew what this was, and now I just feel like a moron. Got color locked on blue. I don't know. Oh, Matt got it for me. 628 CO1. Torso space uniform. Ah, of course. Thank you, I appreciate it. Oh, so the minifig is named Alien, but got it. Okay. Gotta give it an arm though. Matt says, seems like every BrickLink YouTuber quits YouTube when their store becomes a certain size, or at least becomes a just for fun thing. I think there's a correlation with that, yeah. It just doesn't fit anymore with the business model because of the lack of revenue from YouTube and the time commitment it takes. Yeah, unfortunate, but I think that is the case when you grow to a certain size. Again, I really would love to have a direction of the business that focuses on the media side of it, whether it like being YouTube and streams and podcasts and stuff like that. I just don't know it ever will financially make sense to do that. But as we grow, I think, and I've said this for a few years now, we've always been in this middle ground. We started out small, we grew really fast, it went really, really well, and then we hit the middle part where it's like, okay, we're not a small store, but we're still not a big store. And I think we're still in that middle ground of like, we're almost in that big store range. Once we make the hop somewhere else and we have employees who are coming in and like a staff who works all the time, that's when I feel like we'll be at a point of, I don't want to say big, but big in terms of a professional, like large scale store like that. We're in that middle ground still. And I think the middle ground is where a lot of people either give up or stuff falls apart for them. And we've just been trying to keep it going as long as we can and get to that big store. I'm hoping though, once we get to that big store, we can justify some lack of revenue or lack of proper revenue on YouTube because of other revenue coming in. We'll see if that's the case, but I'm really hoping that maybe could be it. But yeah, for now it is kind of a sort of a just for fun thing. YouTube never made money in the sense of like anything substantial ever. And I don't know that I suspect that will come in the future, but maybe, who knows. We'd have to be a lot bigger and like branch out a lot. Ethan says, before you go, what did you do while BrickLink was shut down November 3rd through November 5th? We cataloged a lot. We could still do the majority of our store operations. Well, no, that's not true at all, actually. We could do some. We could do a lot of the back end of like, okay, we still had people cataloging things. We were still able to sort. You know, we can do all that kind of stuff. We obviously just weren't able to upload because you couldn't use BrickLink. So we couldn't sell anything in that sense. Yeah, so no uploading happened, but we did a lot of cataloging. But it was a couple days of kind of stress for sure, because we didn't make money for 5 days or whatever it was. So that was sad, especially considering November started off as such a good month. And then being shut down for 4 or 5 days or whatever, it started to go down. It was kind of sad. It was like, no, we were doing so well. And then, yeah. In addition, following up, kind of Ethan on what you said, BrickLink was never actually hacked into. someone just was able to acquire someone else's password and log in and do stuff. And I think that's why it was shut down so long. BrickLink never actually, they couldn't find any point of failure in their system, which takes them longer to find because they're searching through it. So it was sad that it took so long, because theoretically, since nothing actually happened on their end, nothing they could have prevented happened. It was just someone else, like some leak or whatever, and people got in. Yeah, it's unfortunate, but yeah. But we just did a little bit of stress and just talking like, okay, well, when BrickLink's back up, we're doing this and this and this. We had a lot of files ready to upload, which was nice. But yeah, we couldn't really sell on BrickLink, obviously. Couldn't fulfill order. Like it was a little sad. Sick Nick, welcome to the stream. I don't think you've been here. It says, good to see you back on YouTube. Been a while, hope all is well. Probably missed the update on what's been going on. You kind of have. I've been streaming for a little while now. I didn't update too much on this. We'll have some stuff coming out in the future that'll give you guys more of an update. But I am excited for the future. Slick Nick says, I feel like the LEGO vlogs were not a good use of your time and y'all lost the interest in it. Totally agree. You need to have fun with YouTube. YouTube content for You need to have fun with the YouTube content for it to be worth your time if there isn't income from it. I agree. The vlogs were just, it felt like very repetitive because it's like we're doing the same thing every day. Like this week is different because I'm doing minifigs. But that's about it, you know? It's like the same kind of stuff. So yeah, I agree with you in that sense of making it a little unique and fun and different. Yeah. Fidel says, would you ever consider selling merch like mugs? We have definitely talked about it. It's on the table for sure. I don't know if it'll happen. We'll see. Thought about it for sure though. I don't know. Is there enough interest? Like there's 21 people watching right now. Is there any interest in people purchasing merch? Like what would you want to see if we did? Because I don't know. I have definitely thought about it, but there's again, time commitment to us developing whatever merch we're gonna do. From that point, it's easy, but it's the development of it. Yeah, so would anyone buy merch, I guess? And yeah, Matt, BrickLink is repetitive. Very true, very, very true. But that's what's so fun about the business is when you can find something in it that's not repetitive because you're growing. That's what I love about it, is the growing of the business. Because that's where you get out of that rut of repetitiveness. You get to do something different by continuing on and growing. Okay, almost done here. Fidel says I've been uploading nonstop since November, and it is very repetitive. Yes, it is. Okay, let's see if Recognize works now. Heck yeah, it does. I don't know why. Okay. Turn off color lock. Willbrick says, I'm sure people are willing to purchase t-shirts and mugs and caps with your brand on it. The Leaf Hunter says, yeah, I feel the same about YouTube content creators put out. I feel the same about the YouTube content creators put out. I hate feeling repetitive. Yeah, it's hard. David says, I'd rock a t-shirt. Ethan says, I might buy a water bottle with your logo on it. So the joke is that Paul drinks so much water. We were gonna have a water bottle that just has Paul on it. And I think it was gonna be like a minifig version of Paul, and it was, I don't know. But the joke is, and I don't know that the joke ever really came across the screen, but it's always been Paul loses his water bottle and he needs his water or he's gonna die right now. So we thought about that. But yeah, I think merchandise has been something we've kind of wanted to do. It's just a matter of determining how or what products to sell. It's got to be a print on demand thing because we're not going to purchase the inventory and then sell it off. There's a lot of things that go into it, and making a quality product is something too. I don't want to stick our logo on something cheap. You know, at the end of the day, should I care about that? I don't know, but I do. So yeah. Fidel says the running company. Oh, running gear hat. Yeah, maybe. All right, I'll think about merchandise. It's possible. It's possible for sure. Considering there's like 5 people here who said yes and there's only like 20 people watching, maybe. We're at like almost 9,000 subs, which is kind of wild. Okay, I do think I'm gonna call it for now, or just in a minute. The Leaf Hunter says, I meant the YouTube content I put out. Yeah. I'm not saying the stuff you do, but like from the perspective of the person putting it out, it does feel repetitive, right? Like it just feels like I don't want to do the same thing. That was something that came along with, we do the part out parties. Now these were fun because we could change them up a little bit, but part out parties, like after the first 5, it was the same thing. We'd say, hi, welcome, we're doing this set today. We'd show off the set and we're like, let's get started. We'd open the bags, there'd be a time lapse of us pouring out all the bags, there'd be a time lapse of us sorting all the pieces, and then we'd be like, okay, here we are, now we're gonna start uploading, and we scan in all the new stuff, and then we say, okay, now we gotta consolidate, we're gonna put these, like, it was just such a, it was a cookie cutter type video that was always gonna work. But we lost the interest because it felt like I was no longer pushing something to an audience that I would even enjoy watching because it was too much of the same. So that's what we're trying to find is something different. So I know people want to see the vlogs, so we'll probably do vlogs slowly. We're not going to do everything. We're not going to show you adding a brick to the inventory. We'll show you when we change something up, like doing minifigs. We'll show you when we make an adjustment to the inside of the house or we add new drawers or whatever, but we're not going to be so on top of it like we were. But Willie Brick says it's repetitive for you, but your followers are loving it, trust me. Yeah, I know, it is interesting. Sylvana says the part out parties are fun to watch. They were, those were fun. It just felt like we started, and we also stopped doing new, which was part of that, so that got hard. But yeah, thank you everyone. Appreciate everyone who was here. It was very fun to be able to do this again and talk with everyone and see you all back. Just want to make sure everything's set. Perfect. So we will be back. This isn't an official like come back, hey, we're here, but there will be stuff coming from us. And I promise you, if you hang around for the next few months and just follow along with us, there will be very, very fun stuff coming in the future. I can commit to that. And maybe merch can be on that list of fun stuff. We will see. All right, I think that's going to be it. Thank you again, everyone who was here. We had a fun chat. We will see you in the next stream, vlog, or whatever it is we decide, whenever it is we decide to put it out. So thank you, and we'll see you again later.